Welcome in to the Second Cup podcast. I'm Rick Gaiman, and this is your Ryder Cup mega preview pod. It's storylines, it's best bets, it's other nonsense that we may be able to get into. And joining me to break it all down, Mark Gibbleman is here. Mr. Mark, good to see you.
What is going on, boys? We are finally here. I see Gregor has got the gear already. Me too. You see me? Might give away who I'm pulling for, but anyhow, that's for a later part of the show.
If you're only listening, Mark is wearing a blue
Edge,
Ryder Cup cap right now. Greg Ducharme is here sporting the Ryder Cup shield. You're ready to go, Greg.
I'm ready to go. I was actually on property today.
Yes.
And I don't live that far away, so I was able to get down there and get back and do this all at once. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see about Thursday.
So was a little hop, skip, and a jump in the helicopter, or what were you doing?
Yeah, how was traffic?
Yeah.
Well, it was not a problem at all. So we left at like 5:30 this morning. Parking's like a little complicated, but being Tuesday, there wasn't really any traffic, so it was no problem getting there. And coming back was my family, my wife and kids actually went down too. So they met down there, and I went back with them. So that was like what we might call the Gen Pop way of getting in and out. And that wasn't bad either. There was a little moment on the shuttle going from Bethpage to the parking lot, which is like a half hour away, at least this parking lot that we were in. And we're just sitting there. There was like a shuttle broken down.
Oh boy.
It's like I have no clue what this delay is going to be. Are we going to make it back for showtime? But then after that, it was fine.
Okay, well, I'm already hearing some horror stories about what the shuttle times might be to and from Bethpage Black. But this is a big event. We've been waiting for this for 2 years since Rome. We could not go at this just 3 wide. So we're gonna, against probably my better judgment here.
Yeah.
We're going to let the big boy run hot, and we're going to bring in Patrick McDonald, who is already making things happen from Bethpage Black. There he is, Patty Ice. What's up, big dog?
Oh, running hot.
Running to the show for you guys. I am honored to be on for, I believe this is my second appearance, but I will say I almost didn't do it after Mark gave me a little crap on our HQ hit together. I was talking about Cameron Young, and he just goes, "Sheesh."
That's a lot of words.
Talked a lot there.
You went off. You would have swore you were writing a novel about Cameron Young and all of his family from the New York area. Gosh,
I named his entire extended family.
You did.
13 cousins. Unbelievable stuff.
Wow.
Just a kid from New York. Patrick, you have been. When did you get in? You got in this morning?
I got in at 8 a.m. and then, that messed up. Whoa. Okay.
Wow. That's a nice trick you got there.
Okay, here we go. So I got in at 8 a.m., hopped on the 9 a.m. shuttle. Rick, when you show up to this hotel tomorrow, it is an abandoned horse track and just a massive, massive parking lot. And I went to my Uber and I was like, buddy, are we sure we're in the right place? Like, are you sure this is where we're staying? But you get past all that, you get to the hotel, has a casino in it. So
I thought it had a casino in it. That's dangerous.
Rick, run good. What, you go to Martingale, or you guys
are definitely going to Martingale on the Rick Run Good dime.
I'm going to turn a profit. I'm going to turn a profit on this trip.
Yeah, I cannot wait. The shuttle situation, I caught the back end of Greg's. For the media, it is bleak. People have calculated that they're going to be spending more than half a day on the bus by the end of the week, 13-ish hours. Some people in the back were talking about possibly camping out somewhere nearby Thursday evening just to make sure they can get there Friday morning for the first tee shot.
Okay, this is critical. So I learned this in Rome. The first tee shot, and Mark, I'm sure you're aware of this, is like the shot that every every network has to get, everybody with a camera has to be there. It is exciting. You're there. It kicks it off, but like you have to be there. And this was a problem in Rome where the first shuttle leaves at 5 a.m. The first tee ball goes off at like 7 a.m. You got to set up and all that stuff. If it takes you 90 minutes on the shuttle, you're not going to make it to the first tee. I am worried about the first tee for the people who need to be there.
Hey, bro, you think Rome was bad. And if you remember Rome, the gates, the scantrons for the tickets went down. And they've got people, because their parking area in Rome was this huge, massive open field. It was very convenient to get there. But then you got people coming down from their cars at like 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. And we couldn't get in because the scanners went down. So that was Rome. And in Whistling Straits, Big Eye, the commute from where a lot of folks were staying in, where am I now?
Sheboygan?
No.
Kohler?
No. We weren't. That's where all the
Green
Keep
Bay.
naming, Patrick. Keep going.
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee. Thank you. There we go. The brook. The commute on a good day would be about almost an hour, and all the PGA hotels and everything was in downtown Milwaukee. Now remember that Whistling Straits is on a big lake, and there's basically one road in there and one road out, and that road in has one lane and that road out has one lane. Now you got buses and stuff lining up, and instead of having two roads in there, they were doing like this big roundabout, and then you go through a couple of these tiny little Wisconsin towns. It took us 2.5 hours on the first morning just to get to the gate. Then once you're through the gate, right, because I'm with PepsiCo, they've got a chalet which is on number 16, which was like a 1.5 mile walk for all these guests. They got to the chalet at probably like 11:30, and we left the hotel at 6.
Oh my God.
Yikes. Okay. That is
like once you get out of the confines of this hotel as well, maybe I'm a sheltered individual. I would not put that past myself. Like, just make sure you keep that thing on you. All I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, you think I'm packing? You think I'm packing heat?
So where are you guys? Because we're in Melville is where our hotel is.
We're at like the airport.
We're at JFK pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah, Patrick, tell us your room number so that we can come see you.
10th floor. You gotta have my hotel key. Only way to get up because I have the entire floor.
That's what you think. Yeah. Okay, Greg, how about this? Let's call this a road trip then. We're going to be spending a lot of time on the shuttle, maybe 3 hours a day on the shuttle. How should we be passing the time? Should we read a book? Should we play memory games? Should we play I Spy? You have to keep kids busy all the time. What should we do?
Well, one, I think I'm a huge fan of listening to a great podcast. I would be re-listening to this episode
on the mark
as many times as you need to.
As many times on repeat.
And I don't have any other advice for you. Now, here's the good thing. If you're on Saturday dealing with the shuttle, you can listen to our Friday night episode.
Smart.
Good point.
Which would be a lot of content time. That'll be great.
Why don't you guys on the shuttle just host a Second Cut podcast? Just get involved. Take questions
live from the shuttle.
Greg, hop on the shuttle with us.
Yeah.
Just for fun, for the show.
Come on now.
So I have a great situation
PepsiCo folks
here.
to listen while they in their bus on the way to the golf course as well.
There you go.
I might call in.
My responsibilities during the week, I have a lot going on before the week. During the play, very limited. So I'm like, well, I want to see the first tee shot. I could drive down there mega early, get there, shuttle. Hopefully I don't deal with any of these problems. Leave around after the first session, as the first session's winding down. Come back, watch the whole afternoon session, and then I can cover everything else from the confines of my own home, which I'm thinking is the play.
Sounds like a good play.
Greg, do you guys have a set on the first tee? Because you normally need tickets to get in there, or do you have tickets? The first tee is a ticket place.
I don't know if there's I have a media credential. I have a pretty solid credential.
Okay, right.
Which
There
my
is-
hope is it gets me in.
They have
There is-
preferred viewing for media.
Yes. There is also a media overlook, I believe, is what they've done in the past, where it's like at the very top of the grandstand.
That's the best place to be, man. They make the best pictures from up there.
And you just spit on Gen Pop.
Exactly. That's exactly what you do.
Laugh at them.
Yeah. We already are off to a little bit of a wet start, Patrick. Are your socks wet? Because they're expecting weather coming in on Thursday so much that they've moved the opening ceremonies up until tomorrow on Wednesday. Is that correct?
That's what I heard. I found that out after I was trailing the big four for Europe. Maybe not the big four, but four of the big ones with Shane, Rory, Tommy, and Rosie. But the opening ceremony is like right next to the first tee, pretty much. And I guess I looked at the weather radar, really going deep for you guys. Thursday, pretty much midnight on Wednesday, all the way to midnight on Thursday. It's like all rain. And then Wednesday and Friday, perfectly clear. It's pretty phenomenal. So it seems like Thursday potentially could be a pseudo off day, day of rest, something like that. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys do.
You know who that sucks for? He was all the patron holders, ticket holders for Thursday. That sucks. I hope they're going to do something to let those folks in on Friday or whatever.
They are letting them in on Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Yes. So if you bought a ticket and you wanted to see the opening ceremonies, you can still do that. That'll happen on Wednesday, or you can continue to show up on Thursday as well. I've got to recalibrate my brain though, Greg, because remember, this play doesn't start till Friday. They're going to get 2 sessions on Friday, 2 sessions on Saturday, and then of course the Sunday singles on Sunday. So I've got to recalibrate my brain a little bit here.
These things always mess me up, right? Because golf starts on Thursday for me and ends on Sunday. And anytime there's something different, it messes up my whole week. So it is Tuesday. This grounds us nicely, having our Tuesday episode here. But we're not going to have any action until Friday regardless. So I don't think that it's a terrible thing. It's actually a really good thing for the event that the rain is Thursday, and that's it. It'll soften the golf course for sure. You'll have some, much softer conditions, but that's not really a big deal.
Match play doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't. It's match play, so it's not like, well, it's a major championship and they're going to tear it up. That would be disappointing. Big rain the night before, but there are going to be great matches in any conditions, which is one of the coolest things about the Ryder Cup.
Yes, my thing. First off, what gets me is when they have threesomes on weekends. I can't tell you how many times Tyler Strong, my monitor guy, has to grab me because I've seen 2 tee shots go and I start walking. He goes, "There's one more, big guy." Anyway, but that's an aside. I hope that Kerry Haig puts his foot down and he does not lift, clean, and place the thing on Friday. Let them have to deal with mud and stuff. This is match play. This is match play. Let's see who's got the skill to deal with this stuff. I have my fingers crossed and my thumbs held. I hope they play it down so that you can see a little activity, let's call it. Let's see some folks get hot under the collar.
So PGA Championship Thursday, they were all bitching with no pick lift, clean, in place, and then they went to it on Friday. Is that what happened?
No.
They didn't do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
And the thing is, though, because when it's really wet, typically the mud comes off the side of the golf ball. When it just dries up enough that the mud gets kind of sticky, like on Friday, then it digs in there, gets some mud, and the mud doesn't get washed off. That's when it becomes problematic. There were more issues on Friday at the PGA than I thought there were on Thursday.
Yes.
Xander described this as cakey.
The cake zone.
Yeah, the cake zone.
That's right.
It sounds like we're going to see the cake zone this week, unless they go lift, clean, in place.
I so hope so.
I've got a couple of bullet points or stats or facts to stimulate this conversation, Patrick. I'm going to let you choose which direction we go in. You can choose door number 1 or door number 2.
Number 1. Sorry, Mark. I left 2 for you.
Door number 1 is as follows. Each of the last 5 Ryder Cups dating back to 2014 at Glen Eagles has been won by the home team. Why, Patrick? Why is home soil so beneficial? We know in other sports, maybe football, home field advantage, that might be worth 3 points according to sports books. Why is the Ryder Cup and the winner of the Ryder Cup so closely tied to the country or the region that it's being played in?
Well, I'd say there's a myriad of reasons. One, I think road captains, specifically some of those who have donned the red, white, and blue, maybe have not done the job to the highest of their abilities, whether that's their players kind of sleepwalking off the bus. There was a little bug going around Rome also. And I look back to Marco Simone, and that Ryder Cup was over in 4 hours, pretty much, with the way Europe came out of the gate. And then you add in Europe's real reliance on the analytical edge. You go to Le Golf National. I know they moved the gallery ropes even further back because they saw guys like Phil and Tiger, their average miss off the tee was like 30 yards. And when you see that, typically it's batting down lies in the gallery. They're like, no, we're going to move those gallery ropes back. So when they do miss the fairway, guess what? They're going to have to deal with it. And then Marco Simone, they realized just how much better they were on longer approaches. I believe the number was like over 200 yards. And you think about some of those really high leverage holes, the drive hole 16th where Fleetwood clinched the Ryder Cup, 18th, the par 5 down the hill, even the drive hole par 4 on the front 9 also. And number 9 was a par 5, a long iron in hand too. So some real key moments there, I think, in matches lended itself to Europeans' advantage. And so I think it's a combination of all of these. You obviously have some talent disparity too. You look at 2021. I mean, Europe was just straight up outmatched by that U.S. team. People thought that was going to be a decade of dominance for the red, white, and blue. I think you could say something similar in 16 too. And I think it's just all those factors combined.
The interesting thing about this, Greg, is I get the idea, especially around, at least for, could have been decades of like, hey, the home team gets to set up the course the way that they want. I feel like we're now getting to a point where what has been traditional American traits, hit it long, maybe hit it a little bit crooked, this like big, brawny, firepower type team, while Europe combats it with, Ian Poulter and Justin Rose and whatever. Like, I feel like that's changing a little bit now. And the Euro guys, like on paper, their skill sets are closer now to the American guys, which makes course setup, I think, a little bit trickier.
Well, it makes it trickier if your idea of course setup is, do we want to benefit distance or accuracy?
Okay.
Right. So if you just look at that, then yes, it's much more complicated. But there are a lot more ways, to Patrick's point, the finding that hinge point of outside of 200 yards. Right. These are little areas where you can find an edge. And in the case of the United States this year, I think the clearest edge I can find is perhaps on the putting greens. I think the edges everywhere else seem to be very limited. And I don't know if I could point to one and say, yes, the U.S. should set up the golf course this way for this reason. But in the case of the United States, when there's not a significant deficiency somewhere, you want birdies to be made, and you want birdies to be made to get the crowd involved, and that's a really good way to do it. So courses here in the U.S. tend to be set up much easier, and it leads to birdies and it leads to the crowd getting involved, and that's been a nice advantage. It's also, it's been 2 Ryder Cups. 3 out of the last 4 in the U.S., 3 out of the last 5 in the U.S. as well. So depending on how you look at it, where this all started, is it the home course advantage? Is it the matchup? Has Europe had a couple of bad teams that we've been able to take advantage of? A lot of factors. But ultimately, I do think when you know what you're going to do with the golf course and they don't, and this may come in the form of tee selection, where are you going to put the tee markers? Those things can be little advantages throughout the week that add up.
Go ahead, Mark.
I just wanted to add to that. Look, I will long maintain that match play is a sprint. like Greg talks, a birdie bonanza, but it becomes a putting contest. And if you got guys hitting commensurate iron shots, it's about who's holding from 20 feet or so, because that's your average birdie putts coming from that sort of a range. And so, because a number of the high level Euros play here in the PGA Tour, they are more used to 13 plus stimp readings on the greens. But as soon as the Americans go over to Europe, where they don't play very often, because when you suddenly get to a golf course where the greens are stimping at 11, it feels like molasses. And then figuring out speeds and stuff on the greens makes it awfully difficult. And it's a quick turnaround to really dial your speed, if you will, so you can start making some putts. And it's a mindset shift too, because, if you're on 13 sloping greens, you'll always add some extra into the read because you don't want to leave your partner in foursomes like 4.5 feet coming back. Where if you got 20 feet on flat European greens that are slow, you got to rip the thing. And that's a mindset adjustment too. So all of the points are salient that were made, but I will still lean to the fact that green speeds are a big deal. And the fact that the top Euros playing over here in America are a little more used to it. Now, when it used to be back in the day when Wisnam and company would play over in Europe and the Americans would play here, that's when you were seeing such a disparity as well. But of course, form has a lot to do with it. But I feel like the green speeds are going to stimp out at like 13 this week. They're going to be, they might be a little slower because of the rain, but on the weekend, they're going to be hair raising in spots.
Yeah, they are. I've heard nothing but great things about the condition, as you can imagine, that Bethpage Black is in. Okay, Patrick picked door number 1. Mark flashed me a door number 2. So, Mark, here we go through door number 2 here. Luke Donald. Luke Donald is the first person for either side to serve as a captain in consecutive Ryder Cups since Bernard Gallagher did it, Scotsman, in 1991, 1993, and 1995. No American has served as captain in back-to-back Ryder Cups since Ben Hogan in 1947 and 1949. That's per Elias. So my segue here, Mark, is that this is pretty uncharted territory to have a captain coming back and doing it again. After the success that Luke Donald found in Rome, there has got to be an added comfort level, like check off the box for winning at home. Now go and try to do almost the unthinkable, go back-to-back and win one on American soil.
I have no doubt that Guy Kinnings and a bunch of the guys from the European Tour got calls from all of the blue chips from that Ryder Cup Europe team. And they would say, look, either we don't play at Bethpage or you bring Luke Donald back. Because that's how good they were. That's how great a job he did it. And remember, the job he did was on short notice because Henrik Stenson was the captain for a bit. Then that whole debacle unfolded and Luke had to pick up the reins. And he turned around the thing in a blink of an eye. What people don't get about Luke is he seems like the softly spoken, very nice English guy, which he is. But the guy is lethal, man. He will cut your heart out if he's playing against you. And if you look at his match play record, it's emblematic of that. And so he's got this sort of gentlemanly English way about him, but he is a competitor and he's combative. And I'm sure he knows all the buttons to push for every single one of the guys in his team. And he gets them all ready to play in different ways. He's got some incredible captains around him. I feel like Eduardo Molinari is, with the research he does to set the team up, is incredible as well. So I have no doubt that this wasn't the brains trust of the European Tour. This was the players going, we want this guy back, make it happen.
If he is able to pull this off, Greg, back-to-back wins, one in Rome, one in New York, do we just give him the keys until he doesn't want to do it anymore? Is that the play here?
This is my biggest thing with the Ryder Cup. I, for the life of me, cannot understand why, if the goal is to win, which is, in a PGA Tour event, that's a silly thing to say. Everybody's goal is to win. It's not that simple in the Ryder Cup because for a long time, this was an exhibition. I feel that it's changed and it's no longer an exhibition and we want to win. So if you're playing to win, you're not playing to honor the career of somebody. You're playing to win. Why is every captain we send out a rookie? Every captain's a rookie. If you've been a vice captain, you've been a part of it, and it's closer. That's what the Europeans have done, right? You mentioned Bernard Gallagher. Ironically, 1995, Europe won at Oak Hill. That's the only other Ryder Cup that happened in New York, in the state of New York. And now we come back 30 years later, and we have another repeat captain. The U.S. started to do something after 2014, where they would have vice captains become captains, and captains would stay on the program afterwards. So we did that in 16 we went back to Davis Love III, who was from 2012. 2014 was Tom Watson and company, and that was kind of just washed away. We went back to Davis Love. Jim Furyk, Steve Stricker might have been playing then, but all this kind of crew started to develop, and we started to go back to them. It's something the Europeans have been doing for a much longer time. Since, I think you got to go back to the days of Mark James and Sam Torrance. You're going back to like 1993, 97. You start getting these guys that are in the program year after year after year. And I think it's a huge advantage. They know what they're doing when they get the job and get the Ryder Cup, and they roll the program forward. We have a rookie. Keegan could do a great job, but rookies make mistakes. I would imagine that Keegan's going to make some mistakes at some point, and I can't really blame him for it. And go back to 2008, Paul Lazinger. He's got the pod system, right? There's a real solid philosophy after we had lost 3 Ryder Cups in a row. We go to Paul Lazinger. He figures it out. So much so he wrote a book called Cracking the Code. He's never a part of another Ryder Cup team again.
Cracked it too good.
They rewrote the code.
If Keegan Bradley wins this Ryder Cup, and does things the right way, and the players rave about it the way Mark said about Luke Donald, is he going to be a part of it again? I'm sure he'll be a vice captain. That seems we seem to have learned at least that. But why not make him the captain again? Why would you not make Luke Donald the captain next? I don't understand it. It shouldn't even be a question. If Europe could go on a massive run if they keep Luke Donald at the helm, a massive run.
It's interesting because not only, as mentioned, are we in the uncharted territory of running back a captain, but 11 of the 12 players back. That's the most ever returning from the previous Ryder Cup. So we are absolutely in an area that we are making history.
4 of 5 assistant captains too.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
They got exactly the same uniform provided. It's like
the one guy they literally shifted out an identical twin.
Yeah.
It might be the same team.
Looks the exact same.
Looks the exact same. Could use the same, team photo. Don't even have to set it up this time. Well, Patty Ice, you are on site. The boys are starting to talk. We had some pressers today. We're going to get some more tomorrow and more on Thursday. Everybody gets their time, but it's getting a little chippy, a little bit chippy.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah. So let me get you up to date on where the Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau rivalry stands. Obviously, these guys battled over the last couple of years for major championships. Back in July, Bryson at the Happy Gilmore 2 premiere told reporters that he'll be chirping his ear this time, referring to Rory McIlroy. Said if we go up against each other, you can be sure of it. That was what Bryson originally said about Rory. Of course, Rory fired back, said, I think the only way he gets attention is by mentioning other people. That is basically what I think of it. To get attention, he will mention me or Scotty or others. Okay, there's jab, counterpunch. And now Bryson this week was asked about that, and he gave the ultimate all shucks response. He said, and I quote, because this is, Rick cannot possibly have said this. This has to be Bryson. All I'm trying to do is inspire kids on YouTube, and we've amassed quite a big audience on YouTube. I'm continuing to focus on that train of thought, whatever Rory says and whatnot. Granted, I didn't mean anything by it other than I'm excited. I hope we can have some good banter back and forth. And if not, if he wants to do what he's doing, great, no problem. Crowd is going to be on our side, etc. Oh, then he says, ultimately, my job is to get a kid out there who is looking at me, hitting a golf ball, and smiling. So that is where Bryson has laid his defense. What's going on, Patrick? What's happening?
Can I make a point about the crowd? There is a real concerted effort, and Mark, I'm curious if Trevor tried something similar in Charlotte. These Europeans might not be able to play on Friday because they are signing so many damn autographs walking.
I noticed that. I actually saw Tommy Fleetwood leave a green before the rest of them were finished to start signing autographs. Yeah.
Like kids are running onto the course at this point. They're like, oh, it's a free-for-all. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Everyone's getting an autograph. At one point, like someone asked Justin Thomas, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it after the round. He's like, European sign for me right here. It's like an 8-year-old kid. It's like I'll wear blue and gold on Friday. I'll be here, JT. You better sign this flag right now. So I think and like Rory's getting all the cheers coming up to tee boxes. There's a few guys who are obviously heckling him pretty good, but I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. gets off to a slow start. If this crowd factor is maybe a bit more muted than people are assuming, because everyone's coming into this like, people are going to get arrested. There's going to be a riot. People in place here. But for the Bryson Rory thing, Bryson's insane. Just an absolute madman. On the range today, he was on the left side. Your boy Victor was on the right side. Last two guys on the driving range. He's just pumping 200 miles per hour ball speed. Like it's like his he has so many iterations of Bryson. I kind of forgot that he did long drive competitions. To be honest, he was just sending it. The U.S. played only the back 9 today. Those were the only holes that they played. Bryson DeChambeau, let's go to the first tee and just start wailing golf balls towards that first green, him and Justin Thomas. So he's definitely loving the arena. I don't know if he's loving his golf swing right now, to be honest with you, because he's working pretty hard. I'm talking like an hour. He was off the course at like, I don't know, 2-ish, and he was at the range till 5 pretty much. So that's the one thing. I think obviously he's going to be great, a great showman, fun to watch, hitting bombs, all that stuff. But I am a little curious if the game holds up too.
Hey, Patrick, he's always like that at every event he's playing.
Okay.
Like when I was
Fair
at the
enough.
PGA Championship, he's got his entire cadre of followers out there. He's got
Sports Box AI, like
and then he's got his guy who carries his 4-side launch monitor for him, and then there's the guy that wets his towel and dabs him down on the forehead, and it's got just like and so and then of course Dana Dahlquist, the golf coach, is there, and it's full bore.
Yeah.
I will say this about the fans, because you made a very interesting point. At the Ryder Cup in Minnesota, right? That was about as partisan an American crowd as what I've ever seen, more so than Whistling Straits. I mean, out there, outside of it was crazy how the fans showed up, and they were heckling. That was the whole Rory Patrick Reed thing. Remember, where Rory got so frustrated that he was actually picking fights and arguments, and had security remove American fans from the gallery, and he's giving them "I can't hear you" when he knocks in a putt and stuff. And it was actually ugly, the way the fans were going after them. But I feel like as cosmopolitan as what New York can be, that you're going to get your share of Euros out there, or folks that if they decide, nah, these Americans are letting me down, I'm going to pull against them. You bring up a very interesting point there, and I'm keen personally to see how the whole thing transpires, if indeed the Euros do get up early.
And even this, Mark, it seems like the European press is like, it's almost a state-run media. It's all positive European stuff, and they are just giving it to Keegan Bradley and giving it to the American players about getting paid for the, like, they're making this a massive deal. Like, oh my God, like the Ryder Cup probably shouldn't even be played again if these guys are getting paid. This is absolutely disgusting. You're spitting on the graves of everyone before them. And there's almost like, and it's honestly bleeding into the American media too, because they're like, oh, you know, like the better story, honestly, would be if Europe wins. Oh, they have a lot funner personalities, right? Hovland, Hatton, they're kind of fun to root for. They got some personality. They got some flavor. The U.S. side, outside of Bryson, you could say maybe a little bland. And so it feels like almost the media also, not me, I'm not in the media. I've never been in the media in my life. The media almost is also rooting for Europe.
You're a fanalist, right? Well, what did No Laying Up call
Oh,
himself?
I'm not a fan. I'm just Patrick, man. I operate on my own island. I'm Patrick.
He's just a big boy. Now, the bubbling is starting early, Greg. So obviously late in Rome, Hatgate, Patrick can't lay, fired up, the incident in the parking lot. Rory is already predicting something. This is like predicting there's going to be a bench clearing brawl in Game 7 of the World Series. He says, I think it's inevitable. Something is going to happen in New York. It might not involve me, but it's inevitable that something will happen, whether like in Rome last time or something else. I just think when you go into that environment and you are there for 5 or 6 days and the crowd are on you for 8 hours, so many days in a row, it's inevitable it will get to someone or get to us as a group at some point. It's inevitable.
And it's not surprising when you look at the characters on this team, right? I mean, Rahm and Hatton are like volcanoes.
That fuse is already lit on those two.
They don't even need a fan. They'll start something with themselves.
The kid's going to step on a leaf by accident.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with them. Bobby McIntyre is fiery, very. Shane Lowry, very fiery. Obviously, we've seen Rory, who's got a little fire as well. The only guys I'm not really worried about would be Rasmus Højgaard, because we're probably not going to see a lot of them. Fitz, Fleetwood.
Rose has fire. Rose has fire.
The Fitzy, the still shot for when Rory's pointing in the parking lot in Rome and Fitz is in the back like, please someone hold me. I don't want to. Which is exactly what I would be doing, but it's just
this is not good.
Yeah.
And then you mix into this crowd, into all of that. Right. And you know they're going to be saying stuff. I mean, I was out at T-Box today. On 16T, somebody's outside the ropes. I'm with the people.
Oh.
And there's a guy recording, and someone walks up behind him and goes, "Don't stop recording. Don't stop recording." And I'm like, okay, this guy's going to yell something.
Oh, God.
And he does. He quietly, very quietly yelled Baba Booey. This is like their dad. There's no TV.
Oh, my gosh.
Then I'm on 17T, and I'm crossing. We're on our way out. We're going to leave, but we're watching the Rory group hit into 17. And there's a guy inside the ropes, a volunteer, standing up. And there's a woman in the crowd who says, "Excuse me, sir, could you please move?" Like I'm trying to videotape the tee. So he moves. And then there's another woman that's like, "Oh, well, now he'd move right in front of me. Can you move back?" And they start like, "Oh, she's just being they're calling each other names."
What?
Like, yes, on a practice round day. So I can only imagine when this gets really tuned up in these afternoon 4-ball sessions that it's gonna get pretty crazy.
It was packed today.
For a Tuesday?
Yeah, and there's 24 players. There's not a lot of golf to watch.
Okay, so that's the other thing is
I will say this, Rick. There was a question in the comments. If you want to see golf the Ryder Cup's probably the worst event to go to because there's 4 groups out there and 60,000 people.
Yeah.
So what you got to do is leapfrog people and just go and wait for them to come through, and go and find some cool spots, because that is the challenge behind the thing. So get out there, get the vibe, watch a few holes, and go and find a big screen TV and a bar, and then have a good time.
Yeah. Oh man, the European media
It's
would
a
love
vibe
it.
play.
Would love it if the US fan on fan flights start
Eat it
breaking out.
up. They
Oh, they
eat
will
it
love
up.
Us
Shouldn't host another Ryder Cup in
uncultured
America.
swine. Oh god, it'd be brutal.
Have these people ever been to a golf event before?
Yeah.
Sebi Ballesteros is rolling over his grave.
Yeah.
All right, let's put some names to this. So Mina's got some sweet graphics that she can flip through. I will say this, quick aside. We're surviving. We are surviving. We have done a very good job in our splash contest, which is an NFL Survivor. If you haven't signed up, they are starting more one and dones. Actually, there's one that starts, I think it's called the Bloodbath, where you have to pick 2 teams every single week for the rest of the year. That is available. There's a link in the description. We're going to have our one and done on there for next year. Mina, we all got through last week. Yeah, there we are. Greg had the Seahawks. That was over very, very
Easy.
early. Mark went with the Bucks.
Jeez,
No
they tried to spill that thing. They had to come back. Oh gosh, that wasn't good. But
Last second field goal?
yeah. Huh?
They did try to cough that up. I had the Colts over the Titans, no problem there. Mina had the Chiefs over the Giants. We all move into week number 4. As of right
Great
now,
play, Mina.
we started with 556. We are down to 437. The losers from last week, Green Bay, knocked out 51 people. Mark, your Falcons knocked out 23
Gosh,
people.
the Falcons knocked me out. I mean, did you see that debacle? It was a football game. It was embarrassing. Golly.
I wasn't watching that game.
Who would watch that crappy game?
Me.
And then 2 people lost with the Texans. So we are moving right along. We will get to those picks in just a few minutes, but we've got golf picks to give out. And what we have asked everyone to do is we have asked them to pick a top point scorer across both teams. We can talk about those golfers. Any prop that they want, could be a matchup, could be a wild card, whatever it is, and then pick a overall winner for this event. Mina, do we have a grid for this? I'm sure we do. She's a very good producer. There we go. All right. Oh, the big boy.
What is that picture?
That picture looks like it is.
That's
do you know
outside
that-
of Oakmont.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Outside
Oh.
at outside at Oakmont. Yeah,
I
you
think I
called
dialed
in.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You called in from Oakmont. I was thinking it was outside of Quail, but no, that was outside of Oakmont. I thought that was one of your TikToks from outside of Quail.
Yeah, follow your boy, P. McDonald, CBS on the talk.
Yeah, there it is. All right, top point scorer. Patrick, lead us off.
Yeah, so I always get very cute when it comes to the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup. And then I'm like, all right, if U.S. is going to win, Scotty Scheffler is probably going to have to ball out. So let's keep it simple here. Top point scorer, 3-1. I think Scheffler has some unfinished business from Rome when he was crying at the hands of Ludwig and Victor. Does not have that huge hole in his game. That is his putter. Clearly the best player in the world. I think he plays like it this week and grabs at least 4 points.
Okay, so I tweeted this out, but I deleted it because I didn't phrase it very well.
Story
The-
of life.
The last time, this is also from Elias. They sent out like 30 bullet points of fun stuff. The last time the Ryder Cup was on American soil, which was Whistling Straits, Scotty Scheffler had 0 PGA Tour wins.
Jeez.
Think about that. Think about what has happened since then. So, Patrick, that's the man you're rolling with.
Remember who he was going against for captain's picks, at least on social media, like who social media wanted? It was Patrick Reed, who had a drive to the Tour Championship because he had pneumonia. It was Kevin Na, who had a great FedEx Cup
Great
playoffs.
putter. Great
I think
putter.
Kevin Kisner was in the conversation
He
too.
can putt.
Phil as well.
Everyone was loving for Kiz as well. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he plays great at Austin Country Club. Okay. Like
Yeah, match play savant.
It's- It's just wild how far we've come in 4 years.
I need to say this. For the Scotty Scheffler to be the top points earner, you better make sure he only wears white hats, Patrick.
I know.
You know my white hat theory.
Yes.
When he's in a red or a blue cap, it just doesn't work. When they got the 9 and 7 in Rome, he had a blue cap on.
And he also struggles in flat brims too, Mark, I've noticed, which it's like almost exclusively this week. So it's a big concern.
White cap.
Yeah.
All right, we're looking for white caps. Now, Mina, do you have the list of the Americans? So that is a top point scorer for both sides. So Scotty Scheffler is plus 300. Obviously, he leads the American side of things as well. He's plus 200 there with Bryson at plus 475. Xander and Patrick Cantlay are both 9-1. Those are the four guys who are in single digits to be the top scoring American. Patrick has just picked Scotty Scheffler to be the top scorer overall. Yes, thank you very much. Mark, your pick for top point scorer is from the European side. Who is it, please?
It is. Well, here's my thinking, or at least how it went while I was watching my daughter play tennis and I was trying to type this on my phone. To be the top point scorer, you got to play 5 sessions, so you get more chances to earn points. Mm-hmm. I have no doubt that Tommy Fleetwood will get a couple runs with Rory McIlroy in alternate shot. And then he will square off with who did he play best ball with? Anyway, Tommy's going to play 5 matches, and he's playing beautifully. And more importantly, he's rolling the ball really well. And the last time I watched him play, it was like a symphony from tee to green. He was so accurate. So the confidence, the fact that they're going to ride him in every session, give me Fleetwood, please.
Fleetwood played with Rory McIlroy. He also played with, that's right, Nikolai Højgaard. And he played with anybody else? I'm looking. No, that is all in.
Remember, he went 5-0 in Paris with Francesco Molinari. So
almost lost in singles.
Oh,
Frankie
Frankie went 5-0.
Frankie went 5-0. I knew one of them lost in singles. They were like 9-0 and 1 for the week or something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
Opportunity. Mark is correct. If you're going to be the top point scorer, you better play damn near every session. And that is what Victor Hovland has done. The only man in each of the last 2 Ryder Cups to play all 10 sessions. His name is Victor Hovland. He is young. He is fit. He is very good. He has got a very strong partner, a budding partnership, some might say, in Ludwig Oberg. And he can get absolutely scorching hot in a moment's notice. I saw 28-1. I clicked it again. Victor Hovland to be the top point scorer for both the United States and for Europe, Patrick.
He's a bit of a match play savant as well, because remember, he won the US Amateur.
Yes.
So yeah, he can do this head-to-head stuff.
I walked down to his side of the range as I was leaving. He was working with Dodo Molinari a little bit, and he said, "quote," he was like working just like so freaking hard on a position of like a wedge. I'm like, okay, he might be here for a little bit. But he goes, I don't know if it's good, but I think it could be good enough. And I was like, that's kind of a sick line.
Could be good enough. Yeah. And listen, there is no more aggressive play. He will win 5 matches or he will lose 5 matches. He's going to take it all on.
But wait a second. We got to mind this a little bit here. So was Grant Waite, the golf instructor, not there?
He was working with Molinari and Shea. That was all he was there. So yeah, not even the instructor.
So there's a chance that Victor has about his 7th golf instructor in the last 7 months.
Well, not only that, he's also wearing like the Genghis black box around his waist. You know what I mean? He's got everything working out there.
Go. I love him.
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out. 28-1 was too long for me. Greg, you have found kind of a middle number here. We've got this whole board covered. Who'd you pick for top point scorer?
Well, I'm like you guys, and volume is everything. And I know the Europeans are far more likely to play their guys 5 matches. Yes. In fact, the last 4 Ryder Cups, it's 12 players for Europe have gone 5 matches to only 7 for the United States.
Yes.
So if all goes well for both teams, there's a lot of 5-match players for Europe and not a lot for the U.S. If history repeats itself. So I'm going with Rory McIlroy, who I believe has 1 goal. I mean, maybe 2, but one's like the Olympics. So what even is that? So he's
When is it
basically
even that? It's next year.
I thought you said what even is that?
no when it's so far away. Anyway, it'd be 2030,
2028.
2028.
Yeah.
Riviera.
Yeah, Riviera. So that's a long ways off. This is the biggest goal that he has. At least he's hyped this up for the last couple of years. He called out the Americans in Rome right after a win. They come back with the exact same team, and Rory's going to be ready to play. A big win at the Irish Open. I saw him hit shot. Every shot I saw him hit today was right at the flag. I saw him birdie 15. I saw him hit it. I mean, I don't know if it went in. I don't know if it was close. It was right at the flag on 17. He was obviously hitting it far. He was way ahead of everybody on 15. Like,
Dude, 18, Greg. He was like on the upslope of the hill. Everyone else is by the bunkers. It was absurd.
Hey, Greg, but your strokes gain stuff says he's not a very good iron player. Just a reminder.
Yeah, so let's take that into account because every iron shot I saw was coming down right at the flag.
Yep.
He passed the eye test, and I would have probably gone with this if I didn't see him hit any shots or if I saw him hit bad shots. Rory's going to be ready to play. I think he's going to be the top point scorer.
Does Rory have the most pressure on him of all 24 players? Is it on Rory?
No, it's the hardest thing to do in all of sports.
I think there's no pressure.
Really? I would say because he wants it so bad, and I mean, his next chance is in 4 years.
Yeah, but I don't think it's.
So you'd put it on like Scotty then?
Put it on Keegan.
Keegan
Keegan Bradley's got the most pressure. Yeah, no doubt.
All on
He's not a player.
Well, should have picked himself.
He should be, yeah.
Yeah, this is Rory.
I think it's Rory.
Very few things to check off.
I'll tell you who's got the most pressure on him, aside from Keegan. One Colin Morikawa.
Oh,
I thought you were going to go with your boy, maybe Sam Burns, too.
We're 52 minutes into this, and two-time major champion Colin Morikawa has just had his first mention. Not great. Mina, do you have the European odds? This is the rest of the Europeans. Again, we've picked top point scorer across the board. Rory is plus 300 to be top European. John Rahm right behind at plus 400. Tommy Fleetwood at plus 450. Rosie checking in at 20-1 down towards the bottom. Shane Lowry 22-1. You can see everybody else on the screen right there. Okay.
Rasmus getting no love. Rasmus is getting absolutely zero love, and he's going to do something. You watch this.
What's he gonna? Is he going to play 2 or 3 times, Mark? Which one?
Like 2-0.
Nah, he'll play 4 balls and singles. So he'll probably get 3 runs.
Are they gonna let Rosie shepherd him around the way Rosie shepherded around
I think they got a barn burner in Rose and McIntyre. I'd be surprised if they split those two.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's your boy Rick Hovland, maybe.
It's the group today, right?
Yeah.
So the groups today
seem like 4-ball practice to me.
Well, Hovland is so beautifully confused. He's going to confuse Rasmus just enough to go, well, it's no big deal. Just trying to hit the ball straight, you know. They're going to be like, what are we actually doing out here? Okay, let's win.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I think today was 4-ball practice. It was Højgaard, Hovland, Straka, and McIntyre out of that group. But yeah, I think you might get a Victor Rasmus run. Back to the grid, please. Thank you very much. Now, we open this up for any prop. This could be, if you wanted to find a matchup, if you wanted to find anything, you could. Greg, what did you find, please?
Top debutante, JJ Spawn at plus 425. Here's the thing I like about top debutante. There's only one European, Rasmus. I don't expect him to get a lot of run. 2 or 3, I would be surprised if it was more. Very surprised. So now you're looking at JJ Spawn, Russell Henley, Cam Young, and Ben Griffin. And so there's nothing against any of those players. This is just a very limited amount. And I love what JJ Spawn is doing with his game. The ball is coming down right down on the flag stick every time. I think there's a chance he plays with Scotty Scheffler, although not in foursomes. I did hear from, let's just say, a source close to the situation that none of the rookies are going to start in the first session for the Americans.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm presenting this without comment. That is what I heard.
I'm presenting it with comment. I don't like it.
So they're going to put Burns and Morikawa out there in foursomes.
If what I heard is true.
JJ Spawn won a major championship this year and was second in points.
Yeah. And, I mean, Russell Henley and Scotty Scheffler were a very good team. And they make a lot of sense.
You're going to see those two on Friday morning. Golly, they may go out first. They really might.
If that is true, Greg, cancel the Keegan captaincy right now.
Jeez.
Look, well, let's get to the next column here.
Okay.
Good filibuster.
I'm with you on JJ Spawn, though, Greg, because excellent player. I think he might get a match with Scotty. Even if he doesn't, won at a place that on paper was much too long and much too difficult for him at Oakmont. Plays out of the fairway, putts it very well. I have him to win 2 or more points, 2+. So 2 is a win at plus 110. I love what JJ Spawn could be for this team. I would deploy him in a big way. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I would do.
I'm with you.
I'd run the rookies. They're the most informed guys outside of Scotty.
I mean, and to that, JJ, look, he played beautifully in Napa, right? And when I watched his press this morning, the guy looked like he had been there thousands of times before. He was so cool. He was looking, the one guy asked him a question. He couldn't find the guy. And he looks around. He goes, pardon me, could you ask that question again? You know, anyone who's nervous would be like just vomiting word salad at everyone. And where he's like trying to look and engage the guy. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm high on JJ this week as well.
The debutantes for the Americans, Henley, Spawn, Griffin, Young, which, you know, some of them have President's Cup experience too. Yeah, that would be interesting. Big boy, what'd you find us?
I went with fellow big boy in Ryder Cups, maybe not major championships, but Patrick Cantlay, top U.S. wild card at plus 270. So you got JT, Morikawa, Burns, Young, and Benny. Boom, boom, boom in the mix.
Hey, Patrick,
I've been holding that one in.
Where's the collab with we bring the boom. We bring the boom for you. We bring the boom.
I need John Rahm and Turtle Hatton to do that dance if and when they dust Ben Griffin like 4 and 3, or just like off to the side of the green. But so it can only be that duo of Rahm and Hatton, by the way. So I picked Cantlay, a guy who has shown up in the big moments in Ryder Cups and President's Cups, given just making huge putts. I look back to those final 3 holes in Rome when he stole that match from Rory and Fitzpatrick. I think there's a little bit of a stench around him because of slow play and people asking him about money, but you know, he is giving all 500,000 to charity. That disgusting individual. How dare he? The Europeans hate charity. I guess they find it just sickening. But I think his form is in obviously good enough shape. Almost won the Tour Championship, so I think he's going to get some run out there. And at plus 270, I'm going to take that chance.
Who do you think he's given his money to, Patrick?
Oh, he actually said it's first tee of like Southern California, St. Jude, and I think one more. He named it. This guy, he knew that question was coming, and he memorized.
I thought it was going to be the Cantlay Foundation. Damn it. All right. He got me. Good. Well done. Well done, Patrick. Mark, round us out here. What did you pick for your prop of the week?
Well, I was very much considering Paddy Ice, but then as I was sitting watching tennis, you know, the breeze blew, and I got wind of the fact that the big boy was going to be on the show with us this evening. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, then I have to go with Russell Henley, don't I? I mean, top debutant. I'm getting the love for JJ Spawn, but Russ is going to be out there with Scotty Scheffler. The two of them are going to be like an immovable force. I watched them on some of the morning footage where they were out in practice. Russell's fist pumping putts going into the hole. They were clearly had a match going on against Harris and somebody else. and he's up for it. And like I said to you guys here recently, when I did that event with him, Russell was always unassuming and not saying very much, but all of a sudden he had this air and the stature about him where he was like, yeah, I am a top 5 golfer in the world, and he's going to show up there and he's going to earn points alongside Scotty. So plus 180, I'm like, cash this thing now.
Top 5.
The Russ Bus top debutant plus 180. I have an Elias Russell Henley stat. This one, bear with me here. Russell Henley is the oldest player on the U.S. team. He is 36 years, 169 days, or at least he will be on Friday when this thing starts. The last time that every player on the American side was Henley's age or younger was 1937, Ed Dudley. So, if I'm reading that correctly, basically, this team is historically young, right? That's what I'm hearing. If Russell Henley is the oldest, and the last time that every player was younger than that was 1937, almost 100 years ago.
Which I've got to then quickly come in on the heels of, because remember, after the absolute whitewash of the Europeans in Wisconsin at Whistling Straits, and everybody who knew anything was saying this is going to be so one-sided for the next 12 years. Europeans may not even have to show up. And that team included Dustin Johnson and a bunch of the older timers, Now look how things have changed. Now Russell Henley is the oldest guy on the team. Crazy, isn't it?
And Scotty Scheffler's got 19 wins and 4 majors.
I forget that,
Yeah, it's bonkers stuff. Overall winner. Which team is going to win the Ryder Cup? Mina threw a poll in the chat. The chat has returned the following results. 53% of the viewing audience has selected the United States of America. 75% of us have selected the Europeans. Mark, why don't you go first here?
I'm selecting Europe. I'm wearing the colors on the hat. When you start having a guy like a Shane Lowry or a Rory McIlroy say basically that, well, Shane especially, because he had a subpar year for himself, and he should be winning bigger events, right? When he says, look, I had a bad year, but all will be made right if we win the Ryder Cup in New York, then you know how big this thing is to these guys and how much it means to them. And then you have a Captain Luke Donald who thinks of basically everything. So he trots out his team on the first 3 days wearing colors of teams that have won away Ryder Cups before, like shirt colors. So he's thinking about that to already start the conversation and to use the emotion of all of this to his team to say, it's been done. I'm going to dress you in the same colors. And then just the way he's showing up here with basically the entirely same team and Rasmus and the same coaching staff and the same clothing, just changed up a little bit. If ever a European team was going to come in here and do the business, I feel like it's this crowd. Now I'm setting myself up here for big failure, but I just get the sense that these guys are ready, and they're ready for whatever New York throws at them.
Team Europe might be ready. Plus 170, the best number we could find. Greg, your assessment of this Ryder Cup matchup?
Well, I've been harping on this for years about how, and we already discussed it, the back-to-back captaincy of Luke Donald. It's befuddled me for a long time. And now the Europeans are actually doing that. So I better believe that it works. And I think it is going to work. This is not who I'm rooting for, by the way. But there are a couple of examples here. I believe it was Scotty Scheffler who was asked about this when he was playing the Pro Tour. He said, we got together in January and kind of decided that we were talking about doing a scouting trip or playing the Pro Tour. We decided the scouting trip was the better choice for us. Europe says, well, we'll do both. We have this tendency of, we're not going to lean too much into the data and analytics. We're going to lean into the emotion. And Europe says, yep, well, we're actually going to do both. You look at the depth of the American team, and for years, depth has been a huge advantage. And Europe says, well, we're actually, we're not going to, depth's not going to come into play because we're just going to play our best players 5 times. And you set the lines where and by the way, we're the underdogs somehow. But we're going to set the lines based on the 12 guys. But what is so easily forgotten is that only 8 of them have to play in every session. They put their best 8 out there. They don't go to any rules, like no rookies in the first session. They put the best team they can out there in every session. If that's what, however that plays out, whatever's necessary, that's what they do. I think that is a really difficult thing to overcome for the United States this year.
My friends could not have said it better. Go ahead, Mark.
I want to add something real fast, and I was just thinking that was a beautiful summary that Greg just gave there. I do want to say this: if the United States get an early lead, and you get the crowd against the Europeans, I'm really keen because we all are, pretty high on what Luke Donald's been doing. But I'll tell you, as a former coach, the job as a coach is really easy when the team is playing well. Your true skills as a coach are brought out when the team is not playing well, and as a captain as well. And if they get down early, because remember, Luke Donald has not been down as a Ryder Cup captain.
Never.
That's a good point, Mark. That's a good point.
And he's also been on a winning team away at Medina. So I'm keen to see if they do get down, how he responds, if he sticks to the plan or if he reacts and panics or whatever. So, I mean, there's so many storylines that are involved with this Ryder Cup. It's just going to be fantastic.
They've said it as well as anybody. I'm also on Team Europe. Patrick, set us straight.
I saw the rundown that Mina put together beautifully, and I'm a showman through and through. And I saw 3 Europes, and I was like, someone's got to bite the bullet, take on the red, white, and blue, baby. But to kind of piggyback on what Mark said, I think Rome went just about as good as possible for the Europeans. And on the flip, I think it went about as poorly as possible for the United States, showing up the week of, the bug going through the room, not really having a strategy, not knowing when they're going to play some of these guys until pretty much the morning of. And I think they're just in a much better spot preparation-wise. I think compared to that 2023 team, I think Europe's form is maybe not as sharp. They had arguably the 3 best players in the world with Hovland, Rahm, and Rory, the way those guys were rolling. And because of that, I picked US. I think unknowns are often scary, and I think they're often labeled as just bad, right? It's like, oh, Ben Griffin, you trust him in a Ryder Cup? Like, he could be a stud, right? Unknowns have the potential to be a positive. I think enough of those are going to happen for the U.S. to eke one out 15-13.
An eker, a close one.
But, I mean,
I think it's going to be an eker, too. I actually agree with that score.
Oh, thank you.
But with
we agree on something.
But the other side, yeah. The numbers are right.
3 selections for Europe, 1 selection for the USA. I want to I have a couple more questions before we get out of here, but we do have to make our official NFL Survivor selections. We have gotten Patrick in on the action here. We are all trying to get through until this time next week. Mina, let's see what we got. Dun, dun, dun. Oh,
whoops.
Mina. Yes. Okay. There we go. Greg, your pick for NFL this week.
I have the New England Patriots. They are hosting the Carolina Panthers this week. And I think they're going to take home a victory. I know Carolina won 30-0 last week. I think that's going to change this Sunday. I'm going Pats.
The New England Patriots. Mark, your team, please.
This is liable to change because I'm loving the Texans. But anyhow, I'm going with the Chargers right now. I just love the way they're playing. I think Justin Herbert is a stud. So I'm looking for them to close out the weekend for me.
Chargers for Mr. Mark. Patrick, look at you sticking with the squad.
Yeah, I went with the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Minnesota
That's a shock.
Vikings.
Huh?
And
You going with the Steelers?
I was supposed to be at this game before it was scheduled for week 4, unfortunately. So that's why I'm picking this one. And truth be told, put my cards out on the table. I forgot to sign up for the Survivor pool that you guys do. So this is my one and done for the entire
In your
year.
defense, we filled it so quickly
Yeah.
and so bigly that you might have missed out on the whole thing. In January.
Rick, I'll introduce you on Friday.
Yeah, he's gonna be there. I'm sure that'll make traffic real great when they shut down all the roads around Bethpage Black. That'll be fun.
Speaking of bigly, it's Georgia Bama on Saturday as well. Just saying, you might see me in a crimson hat.
There you go. Also, yeah, there's finally some good, I think, college football games this weekend. Steelers over Vikings for the big boy. Mina and I both on the same squad. We're going with the Texans over the Titans. Hopefully, we can all be here same time, same place for Week 5 selection. Quickly before we get out of here, Patrick, what's the plan for tomorrow?
Plan for tomorrow, I'm going to get out there early. All the press conferences are super early in the morning, and then it's kind of nice how play wraps up like by 2:00. It seems like, and then they have the ceremony tomorrow. Probably miss that. Maybe I'll stick around. But are you in town tomorrow?
I'm flying in tomorrow. Yeah, I think I get in.
Mark's in town, right? Too.
I get in tomorrow evening.
Okay. And then Thursday is the big day for me that I have circled. I'm doing with radio with Greg unless he cancels me again, which potential.
It's happened before. It could happen again.
Greg, what's the plan for tomorrow?
I'll be out there early. Similar schedule for today. I'll be on the air from 9 to 12 on A New Breed of Golf on Sirius. We'll walk around the golf course a little bit, check out some of the action, and then head on out of there in the afternoon.
Okay. Mark, plan for tomorrow, travel day?
I'm on Delta, whatever at 5:00 to LaGuardia, and then car to the hotel, and I'll be having dinner, and then off to get some rest because I plan to check out the golf course in the rain on Thursday to plan for my Friday.
Okay. I'm on Delta, whatever. Get in, I think, at 1:30 to JFK. I don't know if I'll make it. It might not be worth even going over there by the time I get there, right? They're going to be done by 2:00. It's probably not worth it going over there tomorrow.
All right, Rick, you're in charge of
ceremony if you wanted.
That'd
be the only thing.
You're in charge of dinner plans, Rick.
You want to get dinner tomorrow?
Yeah, I've only had a bad banana and pretzels today.
You guys know Patrick's allergic to a lot of things.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'm a soy boy.
We had some good pizza in Augusta, Georgia earlier this year, though.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Greg, we'll have to get a coffee tomorrow morning. I'll call you.
Yeah. All right. You know where I'll be.
Speaking of Georgia Bama, the Alabama women's golf team are going to be at the Ryder Cup on Saturday, so look out for the girls there.
Who's funding that trip, Mark?
We know a few people who know a few people.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I like that. All right, very cool. That'll be sweet. All right, well, listen, everybody safe travels. Everybody have a great day. We will be running into each other, and we will be talking golf a lot for the rest of the week. So schedule will be up second cut wise from Mina on the socials and on YouTube, but make sure you're following everybody because we got a lot of content coming out all over the place. Big thanks. Producer Mina does all the hard work behind the scenes. Patrick McDonald, Greg Ducharme, Mark Immelman. I'm Rick Gaiman. This is The Second Cut. We'll catch you next time.